Hey everybody, Mature Simmer here. So welcome back to the VFR series here. So we're going to get ourselves going. As always, no point in, waiting longer than we have to. So we'll get our propeller up here. Get this going. Get all this turned on. Whoops, strobe. All right. So again, we're looking for about 13, 15, and then that should go up, not go above the yellow. All right, we're all set there. Get this. Fuel selector. Get ourselves to high. All right, flip those. Get the radio master running. Get the bleed on, air conditioning on, fan flow on. Go to flight plan, menu, import from file. All right, so we have got 14 waypoints, but we do have an actual navigation point in there as well. So there's technically 15 things that we're going to hit. We'll get the starter off. We'll get that set. Let's get the taxi lights ready, just so we're good to go. And we will dial in our clearance so we can get that done here, and then we'll connect up. So let's see, 121,655 at this airport. So that should hopefully work. Lyon clearance, requesting IFR into Nice, November 191 Mike Alpha.
Give me 1 second for that clearance.
All right. We have that. We have EIFIS turned on. Should be all set.
Mike Alpha, your latest flight plan on file with SimBrief has you flying out of a different airport. You'll need to file a new flight plan that has you departing from this airport.
I'm requesting VFR to Nice.
November 1 Mike Alpha, VFR not available. IFR only. Cleared to Nice via Belly 4 Sierra departure. On jammers filed. Climb 23,000. Expect 23,000 10 minutes after departure. Departure frequency 120.23. Squawk 5725.
All right, I'm wondering if it's because it's a bigger airport or whatever, so I'm not really that worried about it, I guess. So we'll get this on here. We'll go back here. We'll need the terrain because we're going to be flying up in the mountains again. And we're going to get ourselves up to 4,500. So we'll take a quick peek here. This is our route. So we're going to be flying out of Lyon and then going around and landing here, as you heard, in Nice. So 385 nautical miles instead of the 150, so more than double the distance, but we're going to see some various things. Going to go from France into Italy, come back, pass through Monaco, and end up back in France. So I think we're good to go. Yep. All right. So we'll get the parking. Well, we'll get our trim up. We'll get the parking brake off. Get our flaps down. All right. So flight director. Get this set. Nav. And put that on here. Put it on about 900 for the climb. And then I just need to take a peek. My Navigraph, for some reason, isn't tracking, but that's okay. Just need to kind of know where we're going to head out. And so, yeah, we'll be heading out up that direction. And then just take off to the south. So let's go do that. So we'll get ourselves set. And if you're new to the series, welcome. If you're returning, thank you, and welcome to you also. But yeah, we'll get up here. But yeah, I think because this is kind of like a major airport, it's probably like, yeah, you can't do VFR out of here. So I may not get VFR credit, but yeah, we'll see. Right. Oh, maybe it'll work now. It does. Okay. Somehow it had like signed me out. So, okay. Because that'll help, because it's nice to have the tracking, but at least now like I can see where I am on the taxiways. We'll get going, get past the airport, but again, it's kind of busy. It is, you know, a major airport or whatever. He may be taxiing to exit here, so... Oh no, he's at the gate. So I think we're good. But yeah, we will be taking off, but 33rd leg. It's actually interesting because one of the sites we're going to visit, obviously the narrative that we're going to get from the creator, because this was done years and years ago, is not going to reference this, but we're actually going to overfly Milan, which was the site of the 2026 Winter Olympics that recently took place. So pretty cool. Couldn't have had better timing for when this is showing up. Literally, I think there still might, the Paralympics might still be going on. I think they started last week and are continuing through next weekend. So there is going to be mention of some other Olympic sites, but Milan's not going to obviously have its name included in that, so... But we shall see where we're at and what else we see. I'm trying to remember. I don't think we're going by Cortina, not specifically as a waypoint, but yeah, it's a big. You can see that EasyJet out there. That's basically the runway. So got a taxi all the way out there. So not a tiny little airport like normal. Now I think where we're landing will be, in fact, a tiny little airport. And you know, that can be fun on its own, obviously, but it can also be a little unfun if it's challenging to land at and turns into a mess at the end. But it's usually okay. Alright, so, I mean, I want to taxi quickly, but I don't want to go, I want to take off on the taxiway. That'd be bad. So yes, I'm pretty sure we're going to have to fly quite a bit higher than 4,500 feet, but to take off, you can see we're at about 780. So, a little bit up already, but if you recall, yeah, the last flight through some mountainous terrain for sure. And yeah, if he doesn't go or whatever, we're just gonna kind of go around him. I may actually just pull off early. So there should be a taxiway, yep, ahead of him. And then we can just go and get on the runway and leave. Because the goal of this series is not, I don't want to say it's not flight per se. Obviously, yes, we're flying, we're seeing things, but you know, this isn't like my pilot's life or anything like that. It's right. Right. So we are set, and we will throttle up and go. So we'll get ourselves off. Hopefully, let's see if I can be a little less chaotic on the runway. Of course not.
1,600 feet.
It's crazy. We do not need a runway this big. Not even close. Let's get airborne. Hello. Alright. We'll go runway heading wise.
Approaching runway.
Put away the gear.
7 right. Caution! Caution!
Caution, caution, what? Alright. Yaw damper. We'll do autopilot. Turn that on. And we should then be good. So we'll get ourselves there. We'll watch the terrain. You can see it falling away, obviously.
Point Papa Bravo 4, request IFR clearance, please.
I'll have your clearance in just a second.
Point Papa Bravo 4, request IFR clearance, please.
I am working on that clearance. Stand by.
So sorry for that little window there. Just trying to get my other stuff up that I need. Obviously we need our narrative. So let's start there. So we are heading, you won't be able to tell, because you obviously don't know which way we were facing when we took off. Well, you might, if you saw the runway number, you might have guessed. So it was 35. Well, no. I think it was, I don't know. It would have been like 17, but the way we took off, because we're going southeast. Let's just cut to the chase. So, information that they've got, head southeast from Lyon to the city of Grenoble, and the Perret Tower, named for architect Auguste Perret. The tower was the first reinforced concrete tower in Europe. Finished in 1925, it was built for the International Exposition of Hydropower and Tourism and stands 312 feet tall. Grenoble has also hosted the Winter Olympic Games 3 times, 1924, 1968, and 1992. So that is where we're going, and as you might imagine, that likely means we're going to have some mountains. But for now, we'll stay down here. I'll put myself at 10,500 in case we really need to go up. I don't know how high we're going to need to go, but just take a quick peek out at what we've got, get ourselves kind of positioned where we can see the things ahead of us so that as we reach various waypoints, we'll be able to take a look. So this leg's a little bit unique. from what we've had. There's a series of waypoints.
Good morning.
Let me fix this.
Request IFR clearance for a flight to Barcelona.
So I'm just going to get myself off the frequency there.
Departure runway 17 right. Initial climb to flight level 050. Departure 120.323. Squawk 2432. Welding 123.
Alright. So it'll be CTAF. We might still get something, but we'll see what happens there. Maybe we'll go to center, and maybe now we can get. So let's see. If I do that, 126.705. Whoops. 126.705. Ah. Sorry. I'm doing this on Pocket Sky for SayIntentions. Okay. Center, November 191 Mike Alpha, requesting VFR.
November 1 Mike Alpha, negative identified. Please verify your squawking 5725 and your transponder is set to mode C.
Okay, I don't want flight following, though.
November 1 Mike Alpha, identified 4 west of Latour du Pin at 4800 feet, QNH 1013, climb flight level 230, turn right heading 290, vectors to Humpy, then on course.
Marseille Control, I'm actually not wanting IFR, I'm requesting VFR to Nice.
November 1 Mike Alpha, unable to clear VFR, you are IFR, continuous filed.
Alright, let's see. Let me hit cancel IFR on SayIntentions, see what happens.
Marseille Control, November 1 Niner 1 Mike Alpha. We'd like to cancel our IFR.
November 1 Mike Alpha, roger. Radar services terminated, squawk 7000.
Okay. So we will do that, which is what we were doing.
Since there are no points of interest found nearby, let me tell you about the closest airport, LFKP, also known as La Tour du Pin, Cessieux. This small airfield serves the Isère department in southeastern France, and it's a favorite among local aviation enthusiasts
Alright, we're about
for its scenic
halfway.
approaches over the rolling French countryside. The airport is primarily used for general aviation, flight training, and glider activity. So if you ever wanted to see a sky full of soaring gliders, this is the place. It's not uncommon to spot vintage aircraft here, as the region has a strong community of aviation hobbyists. The airfield itself has been a hub for local pilots for decades, making it a charming spot for anyone who loves the sound of a propeller spinning up.
Alright. Sarah, can you please go ahead and start up VFR TBM around the world, leg 33?
Absolutely. We're starting the VFR TBM around the world, leg 33 tour. Our first stop is the Perret Tower, which is 39 kilometers away. Get ready for some sky-high sightseeing.
Alright. Now let's see. Marseille Control, November 191 Mike Alpha, requesting VFR, no flight following.
November 1 Mike Alpha, VFR approved, radar service terminated.
Okay. So I think we're good. Alright, we'll just kind of keep an eye on if we start running into anything. So you can see we're about 18 miles away. Let me get myself into the higher speed configuration. And then we should be in pretty good shape. So we're only going 188 right now, but some of that is, again, we're sloughing off a lot of speed because we're climbing. So that will change, obviously. You can see it's 35 outside, but it's a nice 71 degrees in the cabin with everything working as it should. Now we're going to turn that way. And then we're eventually going to cross the mountains, but we will be turning to the right 15 miles, so maybe we'll be okay. I'm going to go ahead and leave it this way just so I can see things rather than look out the window at this point. We'll get back to that, but anyway, let me, I guess before I cut away, so maybe by then we'll be at the checkpoint. So as I said, you know, we saw basically 14 waypoints plus the actual intercept that we have for an actual waypoint that is available to flight, not one that we created or that was created for this tour. The majority of the waypoints, I think starting from 8 to 13.
November 1 Mike Alpha, verify your squawking 5725 mode Charlie and verify altitude.
Alright, I don't want to be VFR. Why are you guys doing this to me? Alright. So...
November 1 Mike Alpha identified 12 east of Grenoble at flight level 80 QNH 1013.
Okay. Glad you know who I am. So anyway, so a lot of them are just to follow the coast along the Mediterranean. Now, I have added in the closest cities just so Sarah can give us some information as we fly. Once we get down there, the waypoints are 8. In some cases, they're 5 miles apart.
November 1 Mike Alpha, contact Lion 3 info on 135.525, transponder 7000.
Alright, they're driving me a little crazy with this, but okay. Marseille
Control, Eiger 1 Echo Papa, flight level 390.
Alright, and I'm not going to contact anybody, because I'm not worried about it. But at this point, yes, I think I'm going to put myself on CTAF, and that will stop all the yammering in the background, because we don't need it. Alright. So, coming up here, 4 miles, but this would be Grenoble. So, looks like we've got a pretty cool river coming through and joining up, so maybe 2 rivers. Bet she should be giving us an update soon.
Take a look at our 2 o'clock, just 5 kilometers away. That's the Perret Tower. Built in 1924 for the International Exhibition of Hydropower and Tourism, this concrete tower was actually the very first reinforced concrete tower in the world. Designed by the engineer Auguste Perret, it stands 95 meters tall and was once the tallest structure in Grenoble. Locals used to call it the lighthouse of the Alps, even though it never actually guided any ships unless you count lost tourists. For decades, it was a symbol of modernity and innovation for the city. Sadly, it's been closed to the public since 1960, but it still makes for a striking sight against the mountain backdrop. Next up on our adventure, Mont Aiguille. To get there, just set our heading to 190 and fly for 36 kilometers.
Okay, 20 miles. I'm going to put me out the window. Obviously, we'll give you the information of what exactly that is. Turn southwest now and find Mont Aiguille, the prominent flat-topped peak that is a popular spot for mountaineering and rappelling. So that is where we are going. And again, I don't know if we're following some valleys. Like right now, it appears we are. But I don't know once we turn if we will be or not. So right now we're high enough that we're in good shape, but okay. Just making sure, because now we are getting a little bit closer heading a little closer to the ridge line. I think we'll be okay. Alright, well, I may be taking a peek around, but I'm going to mute myself at this point, which is kind of the normal thing. Nice little mountain lakes over there. And, okay, now he's moving away, so we should definitely be fine, because we're only going 15 miles, and then we will be making a pretty sharp right. So we've got several long legs where we'll be heading east. Then we'll go south, and then we'll be heading along the coast of the Mediterranean. So, but obviously Milan, you know, if you've watched the Olympics in the last month, you've seen, you know, there's mountains around there and stuff, and so this first half is certainly going to be mountainous, but then as we go along the coast, might be less so, so we'll change our altitude as it makes sense, but I'll be back in a little bit. Alright, so I believe it's that mountain right there that's in front of us. So kind of flat-topped. Looks like we're high enough. I was just a little worried that maybe we were close, but we're not getting any terrain here.
Look straight ahead at our 12 o'clock, just 6 kilometers out. There it is, Mont Aiguille. This dramatic limestone mountain is basically the rock star of the French Pre-Alps, standing at 2,085 meters tall. Back in 1492, while Columbus was busy sailing the ocean blue, a French king sent an expedition to climb this very peak, making it one of the first recorded technical climbs in history. The locals used to believe it was completely unclimbable, and some even thought it was the home of dragons or other mystical creatures. Spoiler alert, no dragons, just some very determined mountaineers. Today, it's a favorite for climbers and hikers, and from up here, it looks like a giant stone tooth poking out of the landscape. Next up, we're heading to Sanctuaire Notre de la Salette. To get there, let's fly heading 100 for 27 kilometers.
Alright, so 18 nautical miles is where we'll be with this. We're obviously, again, going to have to kind of make sure we don't have a problem with height, but I don't know where we're headed. Maybe we're okay. But what we've got is, yeah, now head back east to the Sanctuaire Notre de la Salette, a 19th century sanctuary and basilica, set on a mountain ledge overlooking the town of Salette below. Just south is Lima Foxtrot Papa Sierra, a diabolical airport you will remember from the French bush trip if you've flown it. Relax, I'm not going to make you land there. Right, so that is where we're headed. Yeah, we're kind of continuing that way, so I think we want to go up a little bit here. So let's see. All right. We've lost our vertical, but let's go here and climb a bit, because, yeah, that just doesn't look... It looks taller than we're at. We're a little too straight on it. But yeah, we'll give you the view. And again, Grenoble's up there. So, just to give you some bearings. Alright, well, maybe we can... Oops. Alright, let's go to 9,500, and if we have to, we'll keep going. But the way it's turning, maybe we don't have to worry about it, but we are kind of going, I don't know. Thinking might regret not having climbed. So, we'll see. But we are, sometimes it's a little bit of an optical illusion. I mean, we're not hitting anything on the map. What I probably need to do is,
Aspers traffic, Foxtrot X-ray Delta Quebec Mike taxiing to runway 18.
I
Aspers.
forget the range, yeah. That's 10, 15. Well, actually, I probably want to go out. There we go. Alright, so we do have some that's going to be higher. So let's change this and then go and just... We got to get that out of the red. Because that's 500 to 0. So we're either going to hit it. So again, this may not be enough. I'm going to climb pretty aggressively because it's just not looking good. And yeah, if we're at like 10,250 and it still hasn't started to draw itself out, we're just going to have to keep climbing. The problem is we've got this thing here somewhere, I'm guessing.
At our 4 o'clock, just 5 kilometers away, you'll spot the Sanctuaire Notre de la Salette perched dramatically on the mountainside. This sanctuary is a real marvel, not just for its breathtaking location at over 1,800 meters altitude,
Yeah, that's
but also
definitely
for
it.
its story. It was built after 2 children claimed to have seen an apparition of the Virgin Mary here in 1846. And ever since, it's been a pilgrimage site attracting thousands every year. The climb up is so steep that even mountain goats file a complaint. But the view is absolutely worth it. Pilots and hikers alike love catching a glimpse of its spires poking through the clouds. The sanctuary itself looks like something out of a storybook, especially when the early morning mist rolls in and makes it look like it's floating above the valley.
We stopped climbing. I'm like, something's not right. Alright. So, hopefully we won't have a problem. Seems to be getting a little smaller. So I've given myself 2,000 feet. So at this point, you can see we've got over 70 miles to go still, even from this point. So, now turn slightly left here and head over the Alps to Italy and the Italian city of Turin. Turin and Torino, the surrounding area, hosted the Winter Games in 2006, but the city is perhaps most famous for the Shroud of Turin housed in the Royal Chapel of the Cathedral of Turin. Many claim that it is the burial shroud of Jesus Christ, though a carbon dating test done in 1988 showed that it dates only to the Middle Ages. So that is where we are headed. In theory? I don't know. Those still look like they're really over us. I mean, there's nothing. I don't know. I mean, I'll go to 12.5 and we'll see, because, yeah, that is just a concerning look. And I'd rather not fly around a giant area. It's possible they're more than 25 miles out, but I wouldn't think. But yeah, this is pretty impressive, I'd say. Welcome to the Alps, right? Never been here in person. Definitely a bucket list thing to just somewhere check them out. But in theory, we're at least 1,500 feet above. It does not look like we're high enough. I mean, we'll have to keep an eye out. Because, yeah, this is, I don't know. It just doesn't look right. So let's see if we can get... What is it saying? What's my chart say? 15.9. So I don't know if that will be at that height, but we're not going to take any chances. I'd rather be too high than too low. I mean, I'm feeling a little better now, so maybe it's okay. I really don't want to change the view, because I think it's a pretty cool view, but... I mean, because even above that, we're over 1,500 feet above it. So, maybe we're okay. Let me go there. We'll try this. Because again, we are looking a little to the side, so we're really kind of going there, but man, these look a lot closer than... It's like looking in the mirror. Things are closer than they appear. The same thing. That one, like, it does not look like we're above it, but, like, again, this is looking out to 25 miles. It's definitely not 25 miles away, so... I guess it's some optical illusion. But yeah, we're in good shape here. Some crazy stuff, that's for sure. But yeah, we'll have to get through the mountains, so I don't know that I want to go down too much. But they do appear smaller further out. I guess, I mean, we were over, but I don't think we're that far over. I'm just surprised it's not showing up on the, Right, so I'm gonna try this, and then, Oops. Trying to get to 400, then we have to go here. And we'll go down. That'll give us some distance there. Somehow we turned our speed down too, so that's just going to take longer, which is not great. Alright. So, given that at this point we're not seeing anything on the scope, because that would be at least 1,500 feet, like, we should be fine, so we're going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to be quiet. I'll see you in a bit. I may have to adjust things as we go, but I don't necessarily have to tell you. You'll see it. Enjoy the view. Alright, so it looks like we've got clear sailing for a bit, so we're gonna bring ourselves back down, and we'll address it if we need to, because we're gonna end up going that way, but probably 80 miles from now, so it's gonna take a bit, but we're getting close to the waypoint here. So, in front of us here would be Turin, and again, we'll be passing over the cathedral, but we're so high up now, we're gonna have a hard time seeing much.
At our 4 o'clock, just 5 kilometers away, you'll spot the Cathedral of Turin. This stunning Renaissance cathedral was completed in 1498 and is famous for housing the Shroud of Turin, a linen cloth that some believe bears the image of Jesus. The cathedral itself was commissioned by the Duke of Savoy and designed by architect Guarino Guarini, who definitely knew how to make a statement with stone. Over the centuries, it has survived fires, wars, and even a few questionable fashion choices by local bishops.
I don't want to
The bell
push
tower next to
beyond
it
the
is a
red
later
here.
addition, but it gives the whole complex a dramatic skyline, perfect for those aerial photos. Here's something. The cathedral was built on the site of 3 older churches, so you could say it's got layers, like a very holy lasagna.
Sure, we could say that. That was not a great comment, but anyway, alright. So now swing a bit more to the north and head on to Milan, the second largest city in Italy, in the middle of the Lombardy wine-growing region of northern Italy. So that is about 70 nautical miles away. Again, we'll be descending a good ways here. Again, it looks like we can see some mountains, so we might have to worry about it, but I don't think we're going to get that far. We're just going to be able to see them past the outskirts of the city. It does look like the city kind of sprawls 10-20 miles toward the base of them, so that's where we'll be, and then we'll turn away and go pretty sharp south and head to the coast. And that will be, again, about 70 miles, and that will get us to waypoint 6, and then we're going to have a bunch of very, very quick hits. So we can see we do, in fact, get below the mountain peaks at some point, but so it was just definitely that's why instruments are important in a plane, because I'll tell you, it looked like we were headed right for it, and we probably had room to spare, I guess. Was beginning to wonder if the terrain thing was working, but anyway, we've got 4,000 more feet that we're going to go down, so I'm sure we'll have plenty of red up there, but I'll leave this here for you to enjoy, and I'll see you in probably about 10 or 15 minutes.
At our 5 o'clock, just 5 kilometers away, you'll spot the sprawling city of Milan. The city isn't just the fashion capital of the world. It's also a powerhouse of history, art, and believe it or not, aviation. Milan is home to the iconic Duomo di Milano, a cathedral that took nearly 6 centuries to complete. Leonardo da Vinci spent some of his most productive years here painting the Last Supper, just a stone's throw from the city center. Aviation fans might appreciate that Milan has 2 major airports, Linate and Malpensa, both of which have seen everything from vintage prop planes to the latest jets. And if you look closely, you might even spot the rooftop terraces where locals gather for aperitivo as the sun sets over the city.
Whoops, yeah, was talking. So, yeah, we had exceeded things, but I was checking to see if the engine got damaged. Doesn't look like it did, but I think it's because we were descending. So as we got lower, obviously that changes, because the air's different. But at this point, again, a little under 60 miles. And so now we're going to make a hard turn south and head for the Mediterranean coast and the port city of Genova. Genova is what... Excuse me, a little hiccup there. Genova is one of the oldest continuously inhabited cities in the world, dating back to at least the 5th century BC, and was a powerful maritime city-state in the Middle Ages. So, should be good. It looks like we're not going anywhere terribly low, but I'm sure as we get closer, I'll try to take a peek at it. I'm kind of getting distracted with the world again, but we'll see if we can get this flight done. That was why I didn't come back early and talk to you before she did, but hopefully we got a good view of Milan. I'll see you in a bit. Alright, so we're coming up on the coast. So that is Genova. I don't know if that is the same as Genoa, Italy. So I'm not sure if this is, you know, in theory, where Columbus sailed from. But it's got a V in it, Genova. So now, at this point, the next few legs will take us along the Mediterranean coast of Italy and France. So I'm just going to let her talk from here on until we get close to 13.
About 5 kilometers out, you'll see the city of Genoa, one of Italy's most storied port cities. Genoa has been a maritime powerhouse since the Middle Ages, and its port is still one of the busiest in the Mediterranean. The city is a maze of narrow alleys called carughi, and from up here, you can spot the iconic Lanterna, a lighthouse that's been guiding ships since 1543. Talk about job security. Genoa is also the birthplace of Christopher Columbus, so you could say this city knows a thing or two about setting off on epic journeys. And if you look closely, you might catch a glimpse of the massive shipyards and ferries that keep this city buzzing. Our next stop is San Nicolo, just 14 kilometers away.
So as I said, from now, this is waypoint 6 until waypoint 13. I've just added cities for the waypoints that are there. I'll let her say whatever she has to say, but I will not come back until basically after waypoint 12. I think giving the view here might be a little better, just otherwise you're just looking at a lot of water. So this way you'll get a little bit more of a view, and we'll go from there. But yeah, this should just follow the coast.
At our 10 o'clock, just 2 kilometers away, you'll spot San Nicolo. This picturesque coastal village is a classic slice of Ligurian charm, perched right on the edge of the Mediterranean. The area is known for its ancient church, which has watched over sailors and fishermen for centuries. Some say it was built as early as the 12th century, though the bell tower you see today was added a few hundred years later. Legend has it that the church bells once rang on their own during a fierce storm, guiding lost fishermen safely back to shore. From up here, you can see the terraced hillsides dotted with olive trees, and maybe even catch a glimpse of locals sunbathing on the rocky beaches. It's the kind of place where time seems to slow down, and you half expect to see a Vespa zipping along the winding coastal road below. At our 11 o'clock, just 2 kilometers away, you'll spot San Giacomo. This charming little town is tucked into the Ligurian hills, and it's the kind of place where you half expect to see a Vespa parked outside every house. San Giacomo is known for its centuries-old church, which has been keeping watch over the valley since the Middle Ages. Legend has it that the bell tower was once used as a lookout for pirates. The area is dotted with olive groves and vineyards, and if you look closely, you might catch a glimpse of terraced fields that have been farmed for generations. Here's something. During local festivals, the whole village gathers in the square for music, food, and enough laughter to echo off the hills. It's a snapshot of traditional Ligurian life, and from up here, it looks like a postcard come to life. At our 11 o'clock, just 5 kilometers away, you'll spot the city of Savona. This coastal gem has been a major port since Roman times, and its massive Priamar fortress was built in the 16th century by the Genoese, mainly to keep the locals in line. The fortress has seen everything from pirate raids to Napoleon's troops marching through, and it even served as a prison for Giuseppe Mazzini, one of Italy's founding fathers. Down by the water, you can see the old docks where ships have loaded up with olive oil, wine, and occasionally, a few stowaway cats looking for adventure. Savona is also famous for its beautiful medieval towers, which were basically the original high-rises. Take that, modern architects. Here's something. The city's cathedral has a chapel decorated by the same artist who worked on the Sistine Chapel in Rome. So you could say Savona has a bit of Vatican flair. At our 12 o'clock, just 5 kilometers away, you'll spot Varigotti. This tiny seaside village is famous for its colorful houses right on the beach. Think of it as Italy's answer to a pastel crayon box. The area has been inhabited since Roman times, and you can still find traces of ancient walls and watchtowers built to keep out pirates, because apparently, pirates really liked Italian beaches too. Varigotti is a favorite for both sunbathers and hikers, thanks to its dramatic cliffs and crystal clear waters. Here's something. The bay here was once a hideout for Saracen raiders, so if you feel a sudden urge to don an eye patch, you're just getting into the local spirit. From the air, the contrast between the turquoise sea and the ochre rooftops is absolutely stunning. At our 12 o'clock, just 5 kilometers away, you'll spot Albenga. This town is famous for its perfectly preserved medieval center, complete with ancient towers that look like they're straight out of a storybook. Albenga was once a major Roman port, and you can still see the remnants of Roman roads and mosaics if you squint hard enough, or just have really good binoculars. The town's cathedral dates back to the 4th century, and the baptistry is one of the oldest in all of Italy. Pilots love flying over Albenga because the layout of the old city is so distinct from the air, almost like a patchwork quilt stitched together by history. And here's something. Albenga is also known for its purple asparagus. Yes, that's a thing. Apparently even vegetables want to stand out here. Next up, we're heading to Imperia. At our 12 o'clock, just 5 kilometers away, you'll spot Imperia. This coastal city is actually a blend of 2 historic towns, Oneglia and Porto Maurizio, which were officially merged in 1923. Oneglia is known for its olive oil production, so if you suddenly crave a salad, blame the scenery. Porto Maurizio, on the other hand, is perched on a hill and famous for its maze of narrow alleys called Caruggi. The city's cathedral, Basilica di San Maurizio, is the largest in Liguria and took over 80 years to complete. Here's something. Imperia was a favorite stop for British aristocrats in the 19th century, who came for the mild climate and stayed for the gelato. From above, you can see the contrast between the bustling port and the peaceful old town. It's like the city can't decide if it wants to nap or throw a party. 11 o'clock, just 5 kilometers away, you'll spot Bordighera. This seaside town is famous for its palm trees. So many, in fact, that it once supplied palms to the Vatican for Palm Sunday. The British fell in love with Bordighera in the 19th century, turning it into a winter retreat, and you can still see Victorian villas dotting the hillsides. Claude Monet painted here, inspired by the dramatic coastline and the unique Mediterranean light. So if you suddenly feel artistic, blame the view. The old town is perched on a hill, with winding alleys that look like they were designed by someone who really hated straight lines. And here's something. Bordighera is the westernmost town in Italy, where the Italian Riviera meets France. So you could say it's got 1 foot in each country. Next up is Monaco, just 24 kilometers away.
All right, so we have caught up to where I indicated we'd pick back up. So they've got at waypoint 13, which is where we're headed, is the independent Principality of Monaco, located on the French Riviera. Well known for its casinos and nightlife, the city is a popular vacation spot for the rich and famous. And then very quickly, we're going to hit the next piece, so we'll just finish up what they have. A few miles west and slightly inland, you'll find the Allianz Riviera Stadium in Nice, France. Then turn south and land at Côte d'Azur Airport, which you may recognize as the site of one of Flight Sim's many landing challenges. So, not sure if that means it's going to be a bit difficult or not, but we've got 8 miles there, and then I think it's only like, I think it's less than 8. If it's not, it's just 8 to the stadium, and then we in essence have to circle out and come back. So I might go out and just kind of do a 180 and come back in, because otherwise basically the stadium's in line with the middle of the runway. So if we turned toward the airport, it's going to be too tight. So you can see where it is, but that's kind of where we're headed. 5 miles. So I'm going to mute and adjust some things, because we are going to have to slow down in a little bit. But we're going to hit Monaco shortly. So I think we're, I don't know, there's like little slices that go out into the Mediterranean. So like we're just theoretically crossing out of Italy now. So even though it said it was the last town city, so this is not it. This is something else. I don't know what that is. We're not. It's basically, in theory,
At our 11 o'clock, about 6 kilometers out,
well, maybe it is that. Maybe it is.
This tiny municipality is the second smallest country in the world.
Because I do know that has this harbor.
Than just about anywhere else. Monaco is famous for its Formula One Grand Prix, where drivers zip through the city streets at breakneck speeds. Imagine trying that in rush hour traffic. The Prince's Palace, perched on the Rock of Monaco, has been home to the Grimaldi family since the 13th century. And let's not forget the Monte Carlo Casino, which has been luring high rollers and secret agents, yes, James Bond fans, that's the one, since 1863. From the air, the densely packed skyscrapers and the sparkling harbor full of yachts look like a scene straight out of a movie. Here's something. Monaco has more police per capita than any other country, so even the seagulls behave themselves. Next up, we're headed to the Allianz Riviera Stadium.
All right, so that will be the last piece. The airport is right there. So you can see we're kind of headed in, but we're high enough up. As soon as we pass over this, I'm going to descend a little bit further. I don't know, probably 2,000 feet, let's say. And then we'll figure it out after that. But obviously I don't want to run the risk of any problem right here. I assume the stadium's going to be pretty obvious. They're usually easy to spot from the air, which I think is partially why he uses them for waypoints. They'd be... So yeah, there's some sort of tower there on the hill. I kind of had seen it, was wondering what it was, but yeah, that's probably why he uses it. But this would be Nice, kind of flowing around here. And so like I said, you can see, like, we really should turn and land. That would have been perfect, but... And I might have to just come back that way. Because I'm not sure we can land the other way. I don't know. I don't really see lights going the other way, so... Might be better to just circle around and go from there. So we're
At
gonna
our 10
get the
o'clock,
heading.
about 5 kilometers away, you'll spot the Allianz Riviera Stadium. This ultra-modern stadium opened in 2013 and can seat over 35,000 fans.
There it is.
So if you ever hear a roar from down below, it's probably not a lion, just a really enthusiastic soccer crowd. The stadium is home to OGC Nice, and it was built with sustainability in mind, featuring solar panels and a rainwater collection system. During the 2016 UEFA European Championship, Allianz Riviera hosted some of the continent's top teams, and it's even been a venue for rugby and concerts, because apparently, grass likes to party too. From the air, its sweeping, curved roof looks a bit like a spaceship that decided to land in the French Riviera. That wraps up our tour. Today we soared over everything from ancient mountain sanctuaries to medieval towns, dramatic coastlines, and even a peek at Monaco's glitz.
Alright, we're gonna slow ourselves down, because we definitely need to do that. So, we'll want to keep a tight turn. But, yeah, we'll see. I think we'll be okay. So, we're gonna want to head back. Because, yeah, we want to go about 110 or so. I think we'll be okay. Start pulling things back, just kind of put it in the middle spot. Can we see the airport? Not really. But what I want to do is definitely descend. Right, so there it is. We'll head there, and then we're going to have to take a relatively sharp turn. So I'm going to actually pull this in. We're going to bring our landing thing down. Are we descending? We are descending. Okay. Just did not seem like we were. Alright, okay, gonna put our wheels out. That'll give us some drag. So you can see now we're starting to really slow down, which is good. Alright, and we're gonna want to start a pretty substantial turn again. And we'll see. We'll see what we can see. Eventually I'll take over. Right, well, I probably need to take over now. So let's see what we can do.
Sink rate. Don't sink.
Yes, we know about the sink rate.
Don't sink. Don't sink. Sink rate. Don't sink. Sink rate.
We kind of have to sink. Alright, I'd like to slow down a little more. But this will be a bit tricky. So 600 feet. I think we'll be fine. Now it's just a matter of keeping things where we need them. Alright, get our first set of flaps down.
Approaching runway 22, right. Caution, caution.
I don't understand what the caution is, but okay. We should be fine. I don't see any pappy lights, so I do feel like I'm a little high. Coming in a little hot, but yeah, there's really no approach lights on the other side, so I didn't want to run into a situation where I just could not come in and land appropriately. I mean, in theory, we probably could, but pretty nice little, there we go. Now we have some pappy lights, so we are a little low. We're just hard to see. Alright, now we want to start descending at our 3 degrees or so. Alright, now we're high, but we've got some room. I'm getting good at this, finally. Now I think we can exit here. Oh, get our flaps up. Pretty cool looking airport.
Approaching runway 2.
Yeah,
2
I'm sure.
Right.
Sure this gets a little busy. I have no idea how. This is where you start to look at things and like, how much would a ticket to get here cost? But it's pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. That would be a heck of a place to visit for sure. Pretty cool. So, pretty nice airport. This is stock, I'm pretty sure. I don't have anything. So, we'll put the brakes on. But yeah, you can even read Banque Populaire Mediterranee over there. Pretty cool. But anyway, we are here. So hopefully you've had a good time. Definitely interesting flight again, you know, just other than a really pretty view of the Mediterranean coastline, you know, maybe less informative than some of our others, but still pretty nice. So happy to see that. And these guys are all, oh, I see. I'm like, why are they going so slow now? Wow, it's like Monaco. They're not moving, and then they just took off. But yeah, pretty nice, and this, you know, better than the giant airport we took off from. So this will be a nice place to depart. And next week we'll see where we end up. If you haven't liked or subscribed, please consider that. And I will see you next time.